So part two, listening to things like following a pattern. And in the beginning, I thought it was much more magical than it really is. It's just very everyday life, but there's magic sitting in the middle of it. And to access the life that you actually want to live, you need to go to the magical side of it. But it's not magical as in boil, boil, toil and trouble, or let me put down these offerings, or let me burn this candle, or let me burn this herb, or let me sprinkle this powder, or let me, and on and on. It's not magical like that. It's more so like for me, again, and I think this is just part of my makeup. I think for people that it is magical like that for, it's part of theirs. Go with me one more time. Again, I think I want to sound a little bit more practical right here. I'm a person that's extremely analytical. I'm not just going to take your word for it. But I won't insult you because I will listen to everything that you've told me. And then I'll go look it up if it's something that I'm interested in. At my lovely ripe old age of 53, I have studied most things that I'm interested in or experienced them. So I speak from a place of experiential knowledge. Even with those studies took me into certifications, which means I know what in the heck is going on. So when I say that, it makes sense that what the way I'm describing it happens for me is non-magical magical. It's not I have spent these past 5 years since I left my job doing magical work. And honey, I can make some potions. I make amazing powders. Sometimes people can give me a full recipe or they can just mention the name. And see, that's the thing. And then there's other stuff. And once I figure that out and I'm onto it, that's just as magical as any type of other manifestation. I wanted to make, I forget what the name of this powder is, but I made it. I made two things. I made a black salt, and I made I think it's something that uncrossed, like an uncrossed powder. Um, some instructions were given, some were not, and people were like, "No, I'm just going to sell this one. I'll show you how to make this one that's powerful, but you're going to have to buy that one." So, me having done all the research that I've done on herbs, working with herbs in so many different ways, spiritually, it wasn't hard for me to figure out what the herb was, and then I made it myself. I just, went with it, listened to what was inside of me to do it, made it, and the stuff is bomb. Okay. Magical workings like that, though, when the stuff is bomb for other people. Except specifically, and this now again, this is, I feel like it's my perceived point of view, and this is when we're gonna get into the quantum nexus and who starts I've been thinking and all that kind of stuff. But let's just jump back real quick. I'm making stuff for other people. I'm working as a priestess and I can really help people. I love to do that. It's not a problem, but it is not free. That's number one. I thought I was being led to do that. Now, I come to this place of perception. I think it was last year sometime, maybe even a year before that, where I was just like, I'm not charging for this no more. People need to just know stuff, But if you work with me, it's like you're going to pay me for my time, but I'm going to tell you how to do everything you got to do. Ain't going to be no problem, for real. Because, and it won't be within regards to things that are, like, that I agree are going to be secret, that is not mine to tell. That I would never. But herbal compilations, please. Please. Okay. Yeah, and a few other things. But getting back to it, at some point I just decided I'm not charging people for this. And because I took my attention off of it, I essentially started to see other things that were floating with it. And I was like, you know what? And when I say floating with it, I just mean it wasn't all it was cracked up to be for me. Went through some of the relationship type difficulties that happen within that tradition, that tradition. The other stuff I was talking about is really, hoodoo and all that kind of stuff. But once I decided that I wasn't going to do things that way, which is very customary for the community, it's like I started to see other things. It's like the painting got filled in and more stuff was just saying to me over and over and over again, see the full picture. See what you give in order to be here and do this. But I'm an analytical, stubborn person. Okay, yes, I do see that. And I have a relationship with Obatala. So what are we doing here? What exactly are we? I have a very big relationship with quite a few of the Orishas. And it's not because I go and I talk to them. We buddies. And I am their devotee. So what are we? And it's like, again, that focus has been coming in very closely. And I have been, you know, slowly getting back to a place where I'm like, okay, I understand potentially my piece in that. You know what I mean? What they meant when certain things went down when I was coming into that tradition. But now I'm making stuff for, I'll be right back.